We are back, another episode of Chef's Kiss. It's me, Peter from Sheffield Shuffler, with my co-host, John LaLogia. John, what's up, man?
What up, party people? What's going on, man?
Hey, John. What number of podcasts is this for you today?
The number of podcasts I've done today?
Yes.
This is the second one.
Jesus, you have another one?
No, this is it. I'm done. Wait, let me ask you this. How many podcasts have you done in a day?
3, I think. That was like the most I've ever done in a day.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, 3 different. Like if I went on like someone else's, someone came on mine, and then another thing. So, yeah, that's a lot. It's just it takes up a lot of time and
scheduling. Like I honestly, like when you're doing a podcast, like when you're hosting a podcast, obviously you want topics and things like that. You want a good guest that's able to talk, but the biggest issue with podcasting is like the time. Is like scheduling. Scheduling is the biggest pain I've found.
Yeah, I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus, but one of my recent guests, very hard to get them to schedule to show up. Had to cancel a couple times.
Yeah.
But I thank them for joining the show regardless. But yes, scheduling is hard and getting people to adhere to their prior obligations.
For sure, absolutely. Because it's so easy to bail. Be like, I can't do this podcast that I'm not being paid for or whatever.
Exactly, especially when you're the one bringing the goods, you know?
Yeah.
And, I mean, call it what it is. Chef's Kiss isn't world-renowned yet, so we're lucky to have on any person of notoriety, something like that, athlete, celebrity, whatever.
Absolutely. For sure, dude.
Yeah.
So let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's get dirty.
So let's start. Sorry, you're going to hear my son yelling in the other room.
Okay.
So now that you're like Mr. Golf.
Yes. Oh, I went to the driving range today.
Of course you did.
And I booked a tee time for Saturday.
Look at you.
Yes.
Look at you. You're really transitioning into dad life. This is how it happens. You're just a backslide in, hit a couple good shots, think you know what you're doing.
Yeah, at least I went with a guy today, John, because my whole thing is like I have the athleticism, I have the strength, I have all this baseball swing. I need the mechanics, that kind of stuff. So
that sport requires tutelage, and so this past weekend I went for the first time out. It was horrible, but I got to play with my sister Maria. Her fiance is a golf pro.
Yes,
dude. It's like
striping the ball or what?
It's a different. You know how they talk about like when you hear Mike Trout take batting practice or Ohtani or it just sounds Schwarber. It sounds different off the bat, dude. It just sounds different when he hits it. He fucking stripes it, and he hits it with like full confidence. Like he leans into it and he just lets it rip. There's like the muscle memory is there. He's not thinking. Like you're thinking, you're like, all right, I don't want to like slice. I want to keep my shoulder in. He doesn't care at all. He just like they say, grip it and rip it. Right. There's no thought. He just gets up there and he just freaking crushes it. And he also made like 7. He also made like 7 putts outside of like 15 feet. Like no big deal. Like just perfect reads. I'm like, oh my God. It was so cool. So
sexy, right.
Super sexy. So I'm super pumped. This weekend he's inviting me. I'm going with Maria. My parents are watching Theo, and we're going up to Madison for the American Insurance like Life Champions Tour golf event. Derek Jeter's going to be there. Zach Johnson, Steve Stryker, a couple of other tour pros, but Jeter will be there. So I'll be going to that event this weekend on Saturday with my dad, Maria, and Eric, my future brother-in-law, her husband, who's kind of like getting us in, and we're gonna check it all out. I guess it's a blast. So I cannot wait. Super pumped.
Good for you, man. It's yeah, that's exciting. You're going to get to see a lot of cool stuff, and just to be at an event like that will be pretty cool.
Sure. And maybe I'll talk to Jeter about his documentary.
That would be nice. Make sure you videotape it if you do.
For sure, yeah. We'll throw it up on your TikTok.
Yeah.
But speaking of golf, so big news, obviously, the PGA Tour and LIV Golf merged. So Rory McIlroy was pretty outspoken saying he would never go to LIV. There's a couple other players that defected and went over to LIV basically just because it's essentially more money. You play defected.
Yeah, no, that's good.
They left and they went over to LIV, and now they've merged because I think perhaps the final straw was Brooks Koepka recently winning the PGA Tour event, and he's a LIV guy, and so they're like, we can't have LIV guys winning all the tournaments on the PGA Tour. We look like idiots. We got to merge. And so they did, but a lot of people are pissed off about it. Is it that big a deal, or is it just simply money talks? It's capitalism. Like, the LIV Tour forced the PGA Tour to increase their purse and just make things more, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Like, you can golf with shorts in the LIV Tour. You only golf 3 days instead of 4. You can have music in the background. It's a different vibe. Do you think it's going to come into the PGA Tour? They're going to let it? How do you think it's going to fall out?
I think it is a big deal because these guys fell victim to the fact of being loyal to your employer. Right? Because essentially PGA tells them, don't go over there. Don't take that money, okay? We're the PGA. We're the premier show in town. They're offering you tons of money, but stay with us. We are PGA. Basically just pitching that like we are the ultimate brand, and, we can't pay you what they do, but stay loyal to us. And there were guys who...
Right. And they didn't offer them increased salaries either. They're like, we're just asking you for loyalty. Meanwhile, people we'll pay you double of what you're being paid.
7-8 figures.
7-8 figures, and also you're playing significantly less tournaments. If you're on the PGA Tour, there's so many tournaments that you have to play in. And LIV is like, you don't have to do that.
So yeah, and they were just like being loyal to your employer, and it's looking at it something like that is kind of how I saw it, is like, look, they sold out. They said, well, don't take the money, but then they went ahead and did it and made whatever they made their deals and made money that way. And so now it's merged together. But you told them not to take it, so that is scummy. And the scummy part of it is that they didn't let anybody know. They found out on Twitter, John, just like me and you. That's how we found out. Freaking average Joe has found out the same way that the people were involved. You know how upset you would be if like just put that in any other context of your life or whatever. Like, that is so scummy for them to do that. And that's why, you don't stay, it's a contractual obligation that you have. Don't, when employers say, well, we're a family here. Fuck that. No, I got a family at home. I don't want to be your family, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, go get the money.
Mark Cuban, he just talked about this. He goes, in today's world in 2023, like, he goes, everybody's a free agent. He goes, everybody. If you give someone a better salary, better working conditions, you offer workplace flexibility, work-life balance. They're like, everyone's a free agent. He goes, the days people working at a company 10, 15 years, he goes, those are gone, especially with your younger talent that's coming up that knows how to use tech, and you're going to need these people too. Like, everyone's a free agent. So it's incumbent upon the employer for retention. And if you don't care about that, just understand that those people are going to leave. Like, it's your job to keep them there. If you want them to be loyal, you need to give them a reason to be loyal, because I think when our parents were growing up, they had families, and they had larger families, and also they started earlier too. And I think there's a lot of people that are single or choosing not to have kids later in life or whatever, and it's different, and they don't have to do that anymore. We're seeing that all the time.
You probably have some insight to this too, John. I've seen studies that said in order for you to raise your salary, you need to move jobs every X amount of years. 2.5 years, something like that. In order for you to continue to make more money.
Not just salary, title. Like, because companies for years would hang, a lot of companies would hang that over your head. Be like, well, if you put your work in and work really hard, in a couple of years, you could be a a district manager. I'm making this up, but you know what I mean.
But I don't care about titles. You shouldn't care about. I tell every job employer, I'm like, you can call me the custodian. I don't give a shit.
It's about the money.
I get paid. I don't care what you call me. You know what I mean?
Right, and that's what happened with LIV. They went for the money, and they couldn't overtly say it, but yeah, that's 100% what happened. I think it's really interesting. I'm not surprised because LIV Golf forced them. Like after LIV Golf came on the scene, the PGA Tour had to increase the purse, and they just kept upping it. And I think that's really what LIV was for. It's like, hey, like make the PGA Tour better. So it'll be interesting to see the fallout from that.
There was no WWF without WCW. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Seriously, dude.
And now you have one. Now you have the WWE.
But you can't imagine like how pissed you are, Rory McIlroy, to defending the PGA Tour, and then just being like, "Well, I guess
I'm the asshole."
Yeah, I guess they don't care. Like, why was I defending them so hardcore? And then at a private backdoor meeting with like 5 people, they were like, "Let's just get this deal done." Like, we can't compete with you financially, so let's just merge, and we'll figure out the details later. So it will be very interesting. When everyone says it's like, oh, it's not about the money, it's about the money.
Always about the money.
Always. I thought about this the other day. So, I was flipping through channels, like obviously baseball, but like the NBA finals were on, and then I went. We get all like the channels through cable, and then like NHL, like hockey was on, and I was thinking, and I thought this would be an interesting question for you. What sport would be the hardest to referee? Like what league? NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, MLS, soccer, hockey, football, baseball, basketball.
I saw your list and I went through each one of those and was thinking about it, and I think the one sport that would be the hardest is one that's not listed, and I think that would be boxing, because things happen so fast as far as, for me at least, significant strikes, head shots, body shots, exchanging of the punches happen so fast, and those have to be tallied by how many punches were thrown versus landed versus significant shots.
The ref is tallying that? Aren't there isn't there like the scores table that are tallying that? The ref just has to like make sure that someone doesn't die.
I thought you meant like the person, like the 3 judges would be like the referee, not.
No, I mean like you're the referee. So like, what would be the most difficult to be a referee? Like, I think umpire would probably be the easiest. I think NBA would be hard because you're moving around a lot. I think NHL might be the hardest. That is a ton of skating, and also you have to be in shape, and there's a good chance there could be collisions. Football, I think, is a little bit easier because there's a start and stop, but I would say MLS is also like not as fast paced as basketball or NHL. So I would say I might go NHL because of the factor that you could get hit or checked versus basketball, just endurance wise. So I'd probably say NHL.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. Football, you have a lot of line judges, and you're only looking at a specific zone. You're not having to see the whole field of play. Baseball, the ball's in front of you. Although I do think baseball does have a lot of nuances as far as rules go.
Yeah,
so
you definitely need to know all the rules. Like mentally, you need to know all the rules, and then what caveats happen. Like for sure, 100%.
Yes, the ball hits you while it's rolling, hits the bat twice, it bounces. Things like that.
Speaking of baseball, spoiler alert, and no surprise, Jacob deGrom is hurt again. Unfortunately, he will go under season-ending elbow surgery, so we lose out again on one of the MLB's top pitchers. And I was thinking about this the other day, and Jeff Passan really wrote about this in his book, The Arm, a few years ago. But we're in this era where pitchers are just throwing max effort all the time, and they're getting hurt at just increased rates. And there is a correlation. The harder you throw, the more likely you're gonna have arm injury. So why don't they just pivot? Like, why don't they just not throw as hard and learn how to pitch again. Is that ever going to happen? Is the art of pitching ever going to come back? Or were you just going to see this cavalcade of relievers that are throwing 100 miles an hour? I was watching the Angels-Cubs game last night, and this closer was coming in, and it was just like 98, 99. His last pitch was 100. He struck out. I can't remember who was at bat, but struck out. And I was watching the game with Alex, and she was like, "Oh man, you should have hit that." And I was like, "Yeah, but that's like at the belt, and it's 100 miles an hour. Like it's so hard to hit."
If you have been as successful as Jacob deGrom has been over his 10-year career, why would you change it?
Why would you
go to Jacob deGrom while he's in his prime with the Mets and say, "Hey, let's think about your career in 3 to 4 years. Why don't we want you to take a little bit off your fastball, even though you're pumping it right now past everybody."
But he knows himself, right? He knows himself, and he's been injured so many times. Why hasn't he kind of been introspective and say, "All right, I know I can throw 100. Maybe I can live at 94, 95, and I still have an 86 mile an hour changeup or whatever." You know what I mean? Like maybe I can live in that state and still be successful versus, okay, I pitch how I normally pitch and strike out 12 in 5-6 innings, but then I get hurt again. And then I don't, you know what I mean? Like, do you think
you can also hurt yourself just as easily when you're taking stuff off as you were throwing full speed?
Do you just think some guys are more injury prone than others?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that's just how sports goes. I mean, he's highly talented. It's like a shooting star. We got to see some great moments from him. He deserves so much more starts in October that we're never going to, well, more than likely not going to see. Just from the fact of how injury prone he is, John. This isn't the first injury he's had, shoulder, elbow, whatever it is. It's always something. So we saw that we have what here? 2 Cy Young awards, multiple All-Star appearances, a 10-year career. That's really good for some. I mean, he's one of the best pitchers that I have ever seen pitch in the last decade, and I think that's pretty good. Now, one thing I wanted to ask you, John, as I was talking with my brother-in-law, he texted me as soon as it happened. He's a Mets fan. He said, it sucks because he's probably not going to make the Hall of Fame anymore. And I said, the Hall of Fame isn't what it used to be. It's more of kind of people just walking in. I mean, we talk about Fred McGriff, Scott Rowland, whatever, not trying to throw those guys under the bus or anything. But a guy who is so talented like Jacob deGrom, who has a flash of excellence, even if it's just a flash, even though he's been in the league for 10 seasons and been injury prone, do you think that's still a possibility? Because I think it is. The way that the entry process is, especially as these writers start dying off because they're very old and the new generation starts coming in, I think it's very possible. What are your thoughts?
I mean, when he's pitching, he is almost unhittable. When he's healthy, he is almost unhittable. So I think I just have to really look at how many starts, how many innings he's had in comparison to other guys who haven't pitched as many innings that are already in. But, I mean, there's no doubt when he's playing, he's phenomenal. But, another guy – but you could say this. You could say this about Steven Strasburg. Steven Strasburg is unhittable when he's healthy, and he never is. So if you're not on the field to do what you do best – It is hard to make a case for the Hall of Fame. You could say he's like one of the best pitchers to ever do it, but a Hall of Famer, you do need some, duration is a part of that.
John, tell me how many wins he got during either one of his Cy Young Award seasons.
Well, very few because he got absolutely no run support. Like, it was embarrassing.
0 run support. Yeah. 1 year he had 10 wins. He was 10-9 in 2018, and he was 11-8 in 2019. Back-to-back Cy Young Award winners, and doesn't have over 12 wins, which is insane that the Mets could never give him run support. And it was almost like comical.
No, I know. I remember that. And then, also, he was hitting at that time. So there was, one game where his team didn't score any runs, and I think he hit a home run, or he, had the only RBI or something. They're like, this is how bad the Mets, offense is. And, Jacob deGrom, the only way he could get run support was just to, do it himself. which was hilarious.
There was a point in the season where he had more RBIs than he did earned runs.
Yeah, it's nuts. I think he would have to pitch at least 2 more years, like decent years, for health wise. But then I do think there's a valid case that he makes the Hall of Fame. Does Steven Strasburg make the Hall of Fame? I mean, it's a similar case.
I don't think he.
Strasburg is unhittable when he is pitching. He's so good. He just never pitches.
He's got a ring too.
He does have a ring. All right, last topic. Madden 24 cover athlete is Josh Allen. It's pretty dope. It's him jumping in the stands with the other Bills Mafia. So it's pretty awesome. And I was thinking, also the whole Madden curse that you get injured, which I think has been debunked now. I don't think that happens anymore.
Do you believe in that?
Well, it did happen for a very long time. Like
I have the list up here.
Do you have the list?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Where would it start, you think? Did it start in maybe 2011?
So if I can remember, God, if I could remember every cover athlete, that would be amazing. I remember 2003 was Marshall Faulk, and he got hurt. Yeah. 2004 was Mike Vick, and he definitely got hurt. Yep. 2005, who's 2005?
Defensive player.
Ray Lewis?
Yes.
Did he get hurt?
I don't know if he got hurt, but he did murder somebody.
He murdered 2 people. It's so funny, dude. I have a cousin who lives in Baltimore, and I asked him about that, and he goes, "You would not believe how many Ray Lewis jerseys people still walk around." He goes, "They don't care at all. They are full in on Ray Lewis. They bring that up. They're like, never convicted, no big deal. I don't care. I love the Ravens and I love Ray Lewis." Like he goes, they act like it never happened, and he goes, and some people are like, they don't even care. They're like, he goes, it's amazing, how many people. Like, how many Ray Lewis jerseys I see? Okay, so Ray Lewis, Madden 2005. Lewis suffered a broken wrist, which forced him to sit out the final game of the 2004 season. Donovan McNabb in 2006. McNabb injured his groin in a Week 10 matchup and was placed on IR a week later. Sean Alexander in 2007. The reigning MVP broke his foot in Week 3, but will return later in the season, but missed almost all of it. Vince Young in 2008. Hurt his quad, but only missed 1 game. Favre in 2009, he suffered a bicep tendon injury, and the Jets went 1-4. Larry Fitzgerald and Troy Polamalu in 2010. First time they had multiple cover athletes. Polamalu missed time with a career-threatening knee injury, and Fitzgerald injured his knee and elbow. This is all just minor injuries. Dude, Peyton Hillis, to 2012. Can't believe that. But he hurt his hamstring. It was out. But I don't think the huge curse is there. But the question I want to ask you is, and it's pretty sweet, and I love Josh Allen. Who do you think? Who's your prediction? Okay, for the cover athlete for MLB the Show 24. Who do you think it's going to be? And it's interesting. It's got to be an up and comer.
Shohei, and 23 was Jazz.
Yes. So it's tricky, right? We're in June, so we don't know how the rest of the season's going to go. Mm-hmm. Who would it be? Wants to be, and they obviously want to appeal to a younger demographic. They're transitioning into this fun player like Shohei, like Baez, Fernando Tatis. So Baez in 20, Tatis in 21, Shohei 22, and now Jazz in 23. They're really leaning into this. So who do you think it'll be in 24?
Why not Acuna? He's going to have a 40-40 season. He is...
Could be.
If you look at his... By the way, just look at his baseball savant. Unreal, dude. His numbers are unreal. 99 percentile.
That dude, if that guy can stay healthy, he's a future Hall of Famer, 100%. He's so good.
So that would be my vote. Also, he's on a team that's fucking awesome. So yeah. I don't know if they get as much recognition. He's also a fun, swaggy player. I think that's a good call for this season so far. That would be one. Who do you have? I'm trying to think. Who else?
I'm trying to think. That's a really good one.
I don't think you need to redo Shohei. I don't think
Well, you can't look at. Let's just understand that you can't redo players. Like Mookie Betts, but maybe he's a little bit too old and has been around for too long. I want to think of like what's not an obvious one. Like Acuna's pretty good. I guess Judge. I feel like has
been Jr. I guess. Another one.
I'm trying to find like a diamond in the rough. Oh, I got it. Julio Rodriguez.
Yeah, I was thinking him. He's got some majestic looking eyes.
100%. Good looking guy, and he's destroying the baseball. So I would probably say,
just not Aaron Judge, dude.
I don't think. But I think I would say Acuna and Julio Rodriguez. I'm leaning to they would want him more.
Say that again. You cut out.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Julio Rodriguez would be my pick.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'd go Acuna just for the season that he is having currently.
Mm-hmm.
Tatis was in 2001. You said they can't repeat, right? Or more,
no, they can't repeat. No, for sure. And after the PED thing, there's no way he would be the cover athlete again. That's never going to happen.
Mm-hmm. So those are the two picks then? Yeah.
I think Julio Rodriguez, just because I think people really got familiar with him when he won the Home Run Derby. And Acuna has gotten hurt.
Sure. He did not win the Home Run Derby, but he did rake during the Home Run Derby.
Who won the Home Run Derby again?
Juan Soto.
Oh, that's right.
I only know because I was there.
That's true. But that was sort of his coming out party with the whole, because no one watches West Coast games, and two, they definitely don't watch Mariners games. So I think that was the first time people are like, holy shit, this guy's phenomenal. And by the way, he's like 19, 20 years old.
Yeah, it was unreal. I would say those would be two great picks. Either way, I could see the artwork being very colorful for both of those. Mariners have great colors. Braves, you can do the same thing. Yeah, I think those are two good choices. And honestly, I think those got to be two players who are honestly in the top three, top four choices, right? Bizarre how they went with Jazz last season, I guess. Like you said, they wanted to go with that young, swaggy kind of persona to get the younger crowd.
I never thought he was good. I never thought he was good. I mean, like, definitely have the swag, but, like, I never thought he was good enough to be the cover athlete. Similar to Tim Anderson. Sure. Like, Tim Anderson has got swag, but I don't think Tim Anderson is good enough to be the cover athlete. Like, Tatis, yes. Shohei, obviously. But I didn't think... I was surprised about Jazz. I was like, does everybody know who he is? And also, he's like not phenomenal.
Okay, so we know that they obviously have one cover with a current player. Then they also do like legends, right? They do like legends,
like Jeter. That was pretty sweet.
Now, if you had to get to choose a legend, who are you putting on the Legends Deluxe Edition?
Well, they parlayed it with the Jeter documentary, but if I wanted to put a legend on there, I'm trying to think. Culturally, like in 2024, what's happening in society? Who would I put? I mean,
I love anybody that's fat. I think a Mo Vaughn would be funny.
Yeah, it'd be funny, but they would never do it. I mean, what would be funny would be like Rod Beck.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Dude. It's too soon. We can't talk about Rod Beck.
Yeah, I don't think it's too soon. I think that happened a while ago. But Rod Beck would be good.Maybe a holographic with him hanging his arm. You know, he hung his arm before, what's his name? Craig Kimbrell.
Yeah. Dude, I was thinking about a player who was so good, but for a very short amount of time, Prince Fielder. He was a stud, but for like 3, maybe 4 years. And then that was it.
Super fat.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, He looks so like Dan Vogelback looked like more of an athlete than Prince Fielder. Prince Fielder just looks sloppy. Like Dan Vogelback, like he looks like he can move and he's like an athlete. Sure. There's some bigger guys that could do that, but
Prince Fielder was a vegetarian.
Dude,
True story.
But you can still have sugar, I think.
Oh, and Doritos.
Yeah. Basically, I'm all
vegetarian.
Yeah. And he was playing with the Brewers, which is there's good eats in Milwaukee.
Sure, cheese curds for sure. Josh Hamilton, did he ever make the cover?
Dude, his story.
Talk about someone
who was like a shooting star. My God,
I saw him speak at a church. And he was talking about his recovery over drugs and alcohol and stuff, and very good story. He stayed with his grandma. He was very afraid and scared. Very good story. And then he kind of got back on the sauce, and he actually killed a guy. Do you remember that?
He did.
He threw a ball to the guy in Texas. He threw a ball to him, and he fell out off of the balcony, and he died. That's
crazy. I was listening to this podcast. It was called Executive Access, and it's where Mark Feinsand, he's like this beat writer for the Yankees, and he interviewed a bunch of front office guys, people from the Brewers, Mets, Cubs, all these front office guys. Alex Anthopoulos from the Braves. It's a really cool podcast, and I think it was maybe Anthopoulos or some other front office guy, I can't remember. Derek Falvey from the Twins. And they were like, what's the 2 best prospects you've ever seen? I think was the question. Or like, what was the best prospects you've ever seen, ever? And a couple of guys said this. They're like, the can't miss prospect that I saw, one was like Josh Hamilton, like just a phenom, and the other was Byron Buxton. Like
I was gonna say
just the most impressive like prospect we've ever seen. Like
Bryce Harper's got to be up there.
Harper,
because I remember
Harper was up there
watching videos of him when I was in college, and he was like 17 or 16
years old.
In
Tropicana Field,
like,
hitting.
Who the fuck is this kid?
I know.
Like, why he's hitting home runs, and everyone's like, he's gonna be great. And I was like, fuck, this kid's 16 years old. Turns out, I mean, I have photos of him in my office.
He would be the equivalent to LeBron for baseball, right?
Yes.
Like a prodigy that made good. Although he's got to be LeBron, like he's got to win a World Series. He has to. And it's more difficult in baseball, obviously, because as we've talked about a million times, basketball, the team who has the most stars usually wins. Yeah. And in baseball, you need 25 guys. You need
He's the best player in the league for 2 times.
He was, but he's gonna have to win. He's gonna have to win a World Series at some point. And I think Philly will. Maybe not this year, but I mean they will. They have a ton of money. They have a lot of great players. It just some years.
Can I argue this, John?
Doesn't happen.
When you think about World Series rings, who comes to mind?
I mean,
my argument is
anyone on the Yankees like Derek Jeter, Bernie Williams, Yogi Berra.
Okay, that's where I was.
Albert Pujols.
So that's where I was.
You mean current players?
No. I was just talking about Yogi Berra. When you think about greatest baseball players of all time, people wouldn't say Yogi Berra, even though he has 10 World Series rings, which is absurd. So you mentioned that Bryce Harper would have to win a World Series in order to get that kind of recognition. Like you said, LeBron does, and I know we're crossing sports here, but I don't know if that really holds a lot of water, because if that were true, Yogi Berra would be renowned as one of the greatest baseball players of all time. Not saying that he wasn't a great catcher, but do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. I think baseball is vastly different than basketball. So I think there you go right there. You can look at his individual achievements and what he's meant to his team and his MVPs and stuff like that. So I understand it's different, but it's different than, I don't know, Harper's different than Trout. If Trout doesn't win a World Series, I don't think people care, and people will still revere him as one of the greatest players of all time. I think because of Harper, in a weird way, the expectations, because he is who he is, his personality, like I think there's an expectation that he needs to win a World Series. If Trout doesn't win one, I don't think people care. Mainly because he plays in Anaheim and he chose that, and his numbers are out of this world. They speak for themselves. Harper's doesn't have quite the numbers as Trout does, but they're obviously still impressive. But he's a personality, and he's someone people want to watch, and people have watched, and he's playing in a big time market. And I think there's the expectation that he wins a World Series. I think if he doesn't, I think people will feel that his career didn't live up to the hype. And I don't and I don't think expectations. And I don't think
the expectation isn't there though, because as soon as he signed that 13-year contract in Anaheim, we knew there's no way he's winning a fucking World Series. So I think that's why
But he doesn't care. He's a family man. His wife loves it out there. He loves it out there. He doesn't care. He just same thing with Chris Bryant. Chris Bryant went to the Rockies. He knew he wasn't going to win, but he's close to Vegas. He's a family man. He wanted to be a dentist in high school. He didn't he's talked about this. He's like, I don't want my kids playing professional sports. It's like, it's a grind. Like, I really hope they do something else. I just happen to be really good at this. And he's so happy in Colorado, and he's going to pad his stats and yes, I don't think he cares about winning at all. He's accomplished everything you can in the sport already. He doesn't have anything else to prove. Harper is not that. Harper needs to win a World Series, and I don't think the same is for Trout. I think people expect Harper to win a World Series, and I think if he doesn't, I think it will be viewed as a shortcoming for him, and mainly because of his contract, where he's playing, and his personality.
I don't think you can say Chris Bryant has achieved and proved everything that he's needed to prove.
Well, he's won an MVP, a Rookie of the Year, and a World Series champion, so that's pretty good.
Okay. I know, but you're saying Bryce Harper has a 2-time MVP, and he still has more to prove because he doesn't have the World Series and a Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, but because of who he is, his personality, his bravado, his leadership, I feel like he needs to win a World Series more than Mike Trout does, for sure, or Shohei Ohtani, because I think their achievements will outweigh any postseason shortcomings. And for Harper, I don't think they will. I think Harper was this phenom at 19, and he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated or ESPN magazine, and I think we all saw that YouTube video of him hitting bombs at Tropicana Field when he was 19. Yeah. Like, he's got, especially too with LeBron. I don't think people should compare their different sports, but I think they do, and I do think he has to win a World Series. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's justified, but I feel like that's how people will view it.
That's perfectly fine. I can see where you're coming from for that. It's just, in baseball, the individual achievements, I think, they outweigh a lot. Just like we were talking about deGrom earlier, right? I mean, deGrom doesn't have a ring, but we're still contemplating if he should go to the Hall of Fame or not, right? You know?
Yeah.
Just because he was so dominant. So, John, do you have any closing thoughts here? John, did you know that it is super smoky over here? Like, there's wildfires in Canada that blew down. You saw what the sky looks like. Like, it looks like there's a bonfire outside.
Well, they showed that at Yankee Stadium the other night. They showed the sky at Yankee Stadium, and it was pink. And I was like, what is going on there?
They showed it today.
Super weird.
During the day, and it's terrible. Yeah, it's everything's foggy over here.
Yikes.
And smoky.
It's pretty nice here.
Like that. The air quality, oh my God. And then, they'll sit around a bonfire all summer long.
Closing thoughts, we won both of our softball games yesterday, so we are currently 7-5, and now we played the best team in the league, so it's going to get kind of interesting.
Good thing you didn't touch the lineup then, right?
Well, yesterday I bat third and played left field, so I had no qualms about that lineup.
Good. So, you didn't make any adjustments?
No.
Okay. Let it ride.
Yeah, so I'll keep you updated on that. Morale is high. I get too many texts in the thread. I had to come clean yesterday on the bench. I was like, guys, I didn't see that because I'm working, and then I look at my phone and I have 52 fucking missed text messages that I hide. I hide the alerts. I go, I just can't. I can't during the day.
I have OCD
I can't do it
too. Where I need to open it. I can't have a notification on there that says 52. I can't.
But I'm on work calls for a couple hours. I can't be and I'm on camera, so I can't be looking at my phone or whatever. Right. I'm busy, and then I get a break or I go to the bathroom and I look at my phone. I'm like 52 fucking text messages, and it's like, all right, what about this lineup construction, this new composite bat? I'm just like, dude, just let's just roll up, stretch a little bit, and play. All right, let's just you know what we should do? Like not get hurt and catch the fucking ball. Like routine outfield plays and routine ground balls. Like we just need to turn them into outs. Like it's softball, people are gonna hit, people are gonna rope it. You're lobbying in. The team that wins, honestly, plays the best defense. So if we, that's how we win games. I keep trying to tell them that. Like they're like, oh, we should hit more. I'm like, no. We need to work on our defense. Like, if we catch the ball, if we make routine plays, like, they're going to hit the ball hard. Like, it's going to happen. They're going to score some runs. It's softball. But we can't give them extra outs.
Give them extra outs.
Can't. And it's just, and the routine plays, they're going to rope balls, so you're not going to be able to get, and that's fine. That's the nature of softball. But, like, routine plays, got to make those plays, because if you don't, you get the top the lineup again, and then you have those long innings, and you're just like, shit, they've put up 11 runs in this inning, and now we're fucked.
Toasted. John, I'll give you an update on golf this weekend. Let you know how I shoot.
What did you shoot last time? 200?
No, I was under 100.
Nice, dude. That's pretty good.
It's not bad.
Were you honest? Did you actually count your strokes, or did you cheat?
No, I was honest.
That's good.
I just want to have a benchmark of where I was at.
Sure.
You know?
Are you going to be in the Chicagoland area anytime this summer, or we should play?
No, I don't have any plans to come there.
Isn't your family here?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have any plans to... Maybe your parents would like to see their granddaughter. I don't know.
Yeah, they're going to come out here at the end of August.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I live out here now, dude. I've lived in Illinois.
Yeah, I understand, but like you can visit.
I have no interest. I know, but I just have no interest in coming back. I'll be honest.
Not even in the summer. This is the best time of the year.
Nah, I don't. Not really, dude. I see what's going on in Chicago. I don't need to go in the city. The only thing I'm
not talking about the city. I'm talking about coming out here, and we'll play golf out here. We'll do Naperbrook.
Sure. Yeah, I know, but then it's like staying at my parents' house. I have a child now, and traveling on an airplane just makes me like I don't.
I get that. Traveling with a child is like the hardest thing ever. So I don't fault you for that. I get that.
So it's like I live out here now,
so people can come to you.
I'll be here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. As selfish as that
is, and you know what, you can put that on the grandparents, and they will come to you. Trust me, they'll be like, whatever, we'll go see her. Like we need to see her. We're coming to you. They'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah, I don't want to be like that, but it's just...
I get it.
With the kid and then staying somewhere else outside of your comfort zone.
I get it.
And,
off the routine.
Yeah, dude, I like my routine.
And so, and more productive. And so does your daughter. Like, and so do you and your wife. Like, that's a big thing. Yeah. You take that young child out of that routine, take them into a different environment, it gets hard real quick.
Yeah, and I like my routine too.
So do I. I
like operating within my schedule and my routine.
Yep.
I don't like being away from it very long.
I get it, man.
I'm operating on a different wavelength now, John.
Dude, I get it. You're at a higher level, man. I'm trying to get on your level.
No, you are operating at that same level. You know, no sleep, still being very productive, putting things that are important.
Yeah.
As a priority. So... yeah. And I attribute that all to sobriety.
Oh, wait, how long have you not been drinking?
I told you I haven't been counting, but it's been over a month.
Dude, good for you, man.
It's whatever.
What do you think what do you think your daughter's gonna get you for Father's Day?
Probably a poopy diaper.
Oh yeah. I get that every day.
I'm looking at a new putter.
Actually. Dude, I got a new one. I got the same one Dustin Johnson uses. Alex bought me that for, I think, my birthday last year. And the first time I actually got to use it, like the first time was last weekend. It was so sweet. It's a tailor-made spider putter that Dustin Johnson uses. It's the same one. It's awesome, dude. It's got that super soft grip. I just need to... actually make putts with it. That would help.
Sure. Just like Dustin Johnson.
Yeah.
Shout out to Wayne Gretzky's daughter, right?
Paulina? Yeah. Shout out.
That's who he's dating. All right, John.
Cool, buddy.
Till next time.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.